Hello, this is Dr. Drew Leader from Loyola University, Maryland, talking about or talking from a new book of mine, The Healing Body, Creative Responses to Illness, Aging, and Affliction. And one of the things I outline in this book is what I call a chessboard of healing strategies, no less than 20 different strategies that people use to regain a sense of kind of experiential, existential, psychological, whatever you call it, um, wholeness, integration, fulfillment, life satisfaction, even in the face of dealing with chronic illnesses and injury, disability, and the changes of age, which sooner or later we all go through. And on this chessboard of healing, there are different places you can move to on the board, and people do with great effect. But these strategies also have a shadow side if they're used excessively or inappropriately. So on my website, I have a kind of interactive chessboard where you can kind of see how you're dealing with your problem or problems, and perhaps some other possibilities you haven't explored that may be helpful, especially if you feel like you're being placed in check or checkmated by the illness, so to speak. So today we're going to briefly focus on the space I call incorporating. Um, I talked in other videos about when our bodily abilities kind of shift from the things I can do to things I no longer can do, the I can't. We can try to restore what we did previously, or we can try to transform our usage of the body and our environment. But another common strategy, especially in our biomedical era, is what I call incorporating. That means to bring within the body certain aids that were initially outside, but now work with, sometimes in or on or around the physical body to supplement its I can structure of abilities. Um, for example, I'll start with myself. I wear a flexible knee brace when I go hiking. I have very poor vision, but happily it's very well corrected by inserting contact lenses. I had a serious nerve problem that led to surgery where they actually implanted a fibrous sheath from a cadaver such that they could cut my nerve and allow it to regrow within that sheath. So there's all kinds of things going on with or around my body I'm not necessarily even aware of because they've been assimilated into my body schema. I'm not aware after I've inserted my contact lenses that my excellent power of vision is a kind of a bionic combination of my physical eye and this uh, piece of plastic that changes the refraction of light rays. And you're probably also using things, or you will in the future, that you're not aware of. And one reason we're unaware of it is because it's been incorporated once again into our bodily schema. There's a famous example from the French philosopher Merleau-Ponty of a blind man's stick, which you might say, well, it's a tool outside of their body, but they actually now experience it after using it for a while as extending their sensory powers. So, in a certain sense, they can see what's going on around them through this kind of extended tactility made possible by the stick. And it also may assist their mobility, their ability to move through the world. So, we see people turning, once again, let's say they have deficiency in movement, they might use a walking stick or they might use a wheelchair. And we might say, well, the wheelchair is just a machine, but I would classify that in the fullness of time under a mode of incorporation. Just like when you first learn to drive a car, it was a machine outside of you, and you had to figure out how the brake, and the accelerator, and the steering wheel worked. And it was uh, you were very kind of hesitant and somewhat clumsy in your use of it. But over the course of the time, it becomes so much a part of your way of sensing and moving, so much a part of your body capacities. You can probably drive down the road at high speed while listening to music or talking to a passenger or glancing at the scenery because you've incorporated that car's ability into your body. And similarly, that woman or man who has learned to use a wheelchair expertly, it's incorporated it in such a way that they're able to regain a lot of the mobility that their injury or illness took away from them. So this is a common strategy. It has its downside. These prostheses can be expensive. They don't always work right. You also need a society that supports them and make sure you have the resources to access them. But they can be so helpful in regaining bodily abilities and even in sustaining life. For example, I just close by saying I have sleep apnea that can be very life threatening as blood pressure spikes during the evening. Now I use a CPAP machine that breathes me, that helps oxygenate me throughout the night. I'm not aware of it. It just becomes part of my sort of unconscious and subconscious bodily capacities as my own respiratory system and the machine work in cooperation. But I'm hoping it's going to not only extend my energy, but literally extend my life. So anyway, thank you for listening to this discussion of incorporating and my new book, The Healing Body. And I hope to see you again.